see if this fixed it a little bit. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to add some audio gain. I don't know how much we can get out of here. Yeah, we're going way lower on the CPU, so we should be good now. I'm just trying to add some gain here really quick in post to get us to where we need to be from an audio perspective. But this is a Linux stream, so yay. This is obviously not like my highest quality stream ever. This is more so just using the little laptop I bought from work to determine if Linux is a viable alternative to Windows. Literally mostly everything. Half of my Steam library, which I think is a pretty good margin. Most of the ones that aren't available on Steam are like multiplayer with anti-cheat, so like I knew that was a problem going in. The rest of everything though seems to be like ready and raring. Took my Hollyland microphone just fine using this headphone to do all my audio on stream, and that seems fine. So not super crazy there.
Front, left. Front, right.
Yeah, so as you can tell, I just did some audio tests, and we're still pretty good. I do not like that the game audio is not application specific. But that's here nor there. The microphone itself works pretty well, which I'm not super mad about. Can definitely see like all this stuff on chat right now, on the Windows PC in front of me right now. So that's super helpful. I will probably be using that because that will probably update chat a little bit quicker than this machine will. I mean, we're using 54% of the CPU to do a live stream right now. Luckily, I had this little 720p Logitech webcam hanging out, so we could get something out of it. But yeah, so I mean, clearly right now, and this is not the machine that I would base the performance of, you know, Linux off of. Like, there are some things that would be better on my almost $2,500 machine. That's just over time purchasing it at the rate that I purchased it. It's not worth $2,500 right now. I'd probably sell it for $1,200. I'd have to part out everything in it to like truly know, because like I'd pull the drives out of it, and I have a couple of extra drives lying around, so I'd just nuke a drive really quick and put it in there so they had something. Can't do Windows licensing, that kind of thing. So, you know. But yeah, this is a Linux stream. Pretty excited though. There are a lot of things that I enjoyed about my experience on Linux Mint so far. LibreWolf is one of those things. Let me see if I can just we'll bring my doc for scenes back because I need to make something. We'll do add scene. Shit. I just realized the audio capture device is not moving with us. Hold on. I will create a group for that. Audio. I've never really had my microphone in an audio group before, so I never had to like move that shit around. Okay, so now you can hear me. I'm not here yet, but you can hear me. So we'll leave that there. We'll add display capture. Yeah, capture this display currently. That's fine. And then that's there. So that's neat. You guys can see how the sausage is made. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to add, I just don't know what video capture device I use. I feel like I used this one. Yeah, sure enough I did. Bam. And here I am, chat. Will make me a little bit smaller, but will make me 60 on one side. Well, that's not too big. 50 on one side, 50 from the bottom. Current way I do things. And we'll just go through some things that I like. Let's scale me down slightly and see how that looks. Better. Okay. I hate that it's a display capture, but that's kind of what it is. So we'll leave audio down there, stay. And then, yeah, we'll just go to something like a... LibreWolf is interesting because it's like a very open source, uses, come on. I guess I am using a lot of CPU energy right now to exist. Let's see how that transition looks on the stream. Not too bad. But like this beats going to google.com because now we're using DuckDuckGo. I've noticed pretty simply that DuckDuckGo is not like terrible in regards to Google. Like there are not like a whole lot of options. They don't keep Google around as much. They don't get nearly as many like ad buys, so there's not nearly as many pages of stuff. But like if I go to Google Images, I don't feel like this is a bad selection of images. Like if I said Google logo PNG, it would come up. Like most of the time that I'm doing image search, I'm looking for, you know, PNG files to put in thumbnails, that kind of thing. So like content creation wise, I'm looking pretty okay here. Was able to move us over here. Was able to get ourselves a Fire Emblem Binding Blade set up. Oh, and I figured out how to put BIOSes into GBAs, so I'm definitely gonna do that on my Windows machine for sure, so I can get fucking Game Boy. You can definitely hear the game now. Long ago, while the gods were closer to men. One thing I'm still getting used to is fast forward is tab on this emulator. I'm using MGBA instead of my normal Visual Boy. But you know, we're getting GBA games working just fine. Clearly I'm doing okay. I love the autosave of like Fire Emblem. It's like pretty sick. Oh, it just crashed out that, or maybe I just tapped pretty hard. I don't know, I was hovering over the S. But it didn't seem to crash out, so I'm not super worried about that. We're not gonna do that, that's wild for me to do. But that is, oh, I should probably create like a hotkey to do some sort of transition. We're gonna rename this to desktop if I ever need to use it again. And then we're gonna go to settings. God damn it. I don't need to see the settings folder, thanks. It's all good. I will say file expiration is a little bit more intricate, but way better. Search in the actual like desk home bar is fucking phenomenal. Love to see it. You can just go and look at your apps. It's really not that horrible at all. And I believe it's extremely customizable. Like if we went into settings right now, like if I went to settings and I was like, hey, my home bar's not doing it, like we could go in here and we could be like, hey, what's going on over here? Probably in desktop, honestly. No, that's just like the straight up home desktop. They call this the panel, I believe. Yeah. So let's see. You can make it smaller or larger. Add a new type of panel. Always show panel. You can hide the panel. Not really what I'm going for. What is this called? The menu. Is there a like menu type? I believe no. Okay. Interesting. Actions? Question mark? Nope. Probably not. I wonder if I can just click over here and be like, hey, how do I change you? It's not terrible. This may just be like a different build. This computer is warm. She is pissed I'm streaming right now. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I know there's definitely a way to do it. It may be more terminal-based stuff, but it should be just one Google search away. Let's Google search. One Libra Wolf search away. Internet browse? Probably, I don't know. How to change... Why can't I spell? How to change menu layout, Linux, Mint. That may be cinnamon settings too. Not entirely sure. How to switch to traditional layout in the menu. Let's see. Traditional, modern. So this is the modern setup. This is a bunch of code. Probably don't want to be running that. How are we doing on this right now? Doing okay. No Angie. No Angie Town. Love to see it. I don't know why I went in there, so we'll just leave that there. I don't know. There's definitely a way to do it. I'm not super into like looking for it right now, especially on this machine. Like if I go into more like crazy stuff on this machine, it may just, you know, die on me, which I'm not entirely looking forward to. Let me go to settings really quick and set up a hotbar to switch, or a hotkey to switch. Sources. I'm gonna do control Z. No, let's not make it control Z. Let's make it control scene. We'll do control D. Control Alt D probably. Control Alt Shift D. And Control Alt Shift main. And let's see if that goes. Yeah, Control Shift main. Yep. So she works. But yeah, Linux in and of itself, like the basics of like daily driving have been like pretty simple. I've been able to like get through a lot of stuff relatively simply. I've been able to do like a whole lot of like terminal-based commands that I wanted to learn and stuff like that, and actually get into Linux. I ran Linux Mint fucking forever ago in like 2018 because my Lenovo ThinkPad that I had gotten from high school was just not running Windows effectively anymore. So I was like, okay, well, we'll try. I had been like an itty-bitty nerd back then, so I was like, okay, we'll try Mint, Linux, and I decided on Mint because Ubuntu just sounds dumb to me. I just hate the name Ubuntu. So I tried Mint, and it seems to be working. It seemed to like work pretty well for like basic word processing. The problem is like at the time, I forget it was Blackboard or RenWeb that we were using at the time, but stopped taking like very basic file formats for Word documents, and so I had to, and I needed to start turning stuff in as PDFs and stuff like that. Linux Mint at the time didn't have support for the Adobe suite, which I don't think they do still. I hadn't switched over to DaVinci Resolve like I have now, so a lot of these things just didn't make sense at the time to like keep it on like a laptop that I brought to school all the time. Eventually, I started bringing my like main laptop that I was using as kind of a desktop at home to school to do all those kind of things, and it was interesting. It was neat, but yeah, now I'm just testing Mint because I'm more in an IT world now. What I've noticed in a lot of like my day-to-day stuff is I just don't make a lot of content anymore, and that's like definitely my fault, right? On the content side of things. And I've been focusing pretty heavy on doing like Linux and learning like 8 plus and getting that certification and going through all like my basic help desk stuff. So like at the end of the day, I am 100% just trying to be more available and involved and Um, I don't know. It's difficult to get back into content and stuff like that. So like my needs have changed from a like um, what I can get on Linux and Windows and what I can get out of those operating systems. One thing I will say is I'll bring up Software Manager really quick. Um, oh, Software Manager, come on, don't crash out on me like right now while I'm talking nice to you. Okay, we're gonna change desktop display capture to window capture, just because I feel terrified of window capture. Bam. Window. Bam. I didn't know I had one already like put together. I guess I did. What are you, though? That's the real question. It was set to Fire Emblem, so I can't do that. So this is Software Manager. So this is like, I'm gonna put it at least so it goes top to side. This is like where you'll go for like all of your stuff, and it's a pretty decent. Like if you're looking for like a very specific thing, um, this is not like a bad look. This isn't a bad app manager, software manager at all in regards to a lot of things. And so I'm actually going to go more vertical with this chat really quick. Oh, fuck, did I just get rid of him? Where'd the chat guy go? Chat. Chat, where'd you go? Oh, you're all the way over here. Jesus Christ. Chat, no. Chat window, no. Trying to get the chat window like above or below the display output so that I can put it below my... Why can't I do that? Why are you being this way? Is it because the freaking the fucking thing is locked? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Well, now it kind of does. Son of a bitch. Goddamn docs. Hold chefs. Okay, that's fine. That way I can just edit a couple of things across the board here and live my life. Window. Why is window not unlocked? Hello, unlocked, thank you. Cool. I'm just trying to get this a little bit more expanded so that I can make my face a little bit bigger. Up. And then we'll just expand that guy out a little bit. Go up. Sorry, Chad, I know this is a lot of like finagling at the moment, but that's kind of like what switching to Linux is. So yeah, if you go to like most of this stuff, like you've got like a bunch of different selections that you can make. Like the basic stuff will be there. Like if you type in Steam, Steam's gonna be there, right? There are gonna be some things that you miss. Like you're not gonna get EA. Like if I type in EA here, you're gonna get a bunch of other shit. Come on, EA. Come on, search bar. Come on, search bar. There we go. Like you're not gonna get EA games. I could put. Yeah, you're just not gonna get that kind of stuff. Like these kind of things are just not gonna end up being. You might be able to get Origin. Is EA Origin the name of their fucking thingy? Yeah, so it doesn't look like you're gonna get that. You're gonna get a bunch of packages. You may be able to find like forks and stuff like that on the internet, but you're not gonna be getting, you know, first party stuff for a lot of those like game development platforms. Steam is really the only one that's like fully embraced, which is why I think it's important for you guys to realize like what types of games you play. Like if I switched to Linux tomorrow, I would not be able to play Madden on my PC anymore, which not great for me because EA has a terrible platform. And they just don't care about Linux whatsoever, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of gamers that use AI products are just not gamers, like Linux people. What's that thing I was trying to find? I came in here with a purpose, trying to look for something, and I could not find it. Can you find DaVinci on here? Nope. I found DaVinci on their website. DaVinci. I'm just making sure I spelled it right. God, I came in here for something. I couldn't remember what the fuck it is. Oh, do I not have Wine installed? This is maybe a compatibility tool. Yeah, I don't know if I want to use this. 6 reviews, kind of crazy. I came in there with a purpose. I knew that I had to grab something. Oh, like Visual Studio Code, I think is. Visual Studio. Okay, so Python is there. Let's see if I can just go find that on LibreWolf really quick. Probably. Visual Studio Code. I mean, I found it. The question is am I going to be able to download it? Oh, you can totally download it for Debian. Which I think Linux Mint Debian, which is something that you should totally know before you download something. I don't know what Linux Mint 22 is. I just don't know if it's technically a Debian based. I would imagine. I'm gonna download VS Studio Code and see what happens. We'll put it on desktop, save. Did it download? Using a lot of internet. Oh, it completed already. Hot damn. Alright, so we'll get rid of this and go to File Manager and go to that fucking app. It looks like it can. Survey says it's opening the package. We'll switch to main really quick while this opens. Code editing redefined, install package. We have to give it permission, and I have to enter credentials. It's installing the file. It seems to be fine. This is straight off of, Visual Studio Code's website. So we could be good there. Yeah, and I mean, yes, we'll go ahead and do that. It's downloading a bunch of stuff. Question mark on if it's going to install or not. The installation was successful. Code. Okay. JK, I don't know anything. The question is, does it install, Visual Studio Code. There it is right there. And then we have Visual Studio Code, man. Just that simple. And I'll show you on the window, so I'm not telling you I'm a liar. Yes. That's a fat fly. There's a fly flying in front of my light right now. That was what I was trying to do earlier. Bam. So Visual Studio Code. Setup Copilot, eat my ass. Color themes, dark modern, sounds great. Browse language extensions. I believe this is like actual languages. Oh no, it's coding languages. Good. Yeah, I don't know. I want to do PowerShell because I do a lot of PowerShell building currently. Python and C++ probably as well. Just because fuck it, if I'm gonna learn to code, I might as well. Dart, I've been hearing, is pretty good as well as Rust and other things like that. But I'll do some C++ to get those extensions. These are straight from Microsoft, so we love that. Go is what? Go team at Google. I hate that. But yeah, PowerShell is what I typically use to get all my stuff. I honestly have not done a whole lot of did it not find PowerShell? I probably can't emulate PowerShell in here. Huh. Well, it looks like it's fine. let's see. I haven't opened any folders yet. Yeah, I really don't understand how this works, so, you know, this is just me. New text file. Sudo apt install. Bam. That's a thing. Run it, bitch. And then we run that motherfucker into the ground. File Explorer. And that's it, baby. Goodbye. Oh my god, I split it out into too many windows. Oh god. The fuck is this? I'm not asking Copilot shit. Bye. But yeah, so that's you know, stuff that you can do. And so like I've been focusing more so on Control Shift Main. There we go. I have been trying to just kind of focus more on my IT work, do like a lot more coding and general stuff like that, gamify that instead of play some games. I know that's not what a lot of you like fucking stream watchers want to hear, but like a lot of my games that I do play are still available. I'm pretty sure Brawlhalla is still available on my Steam. If we load up my Steam really quick. Pretty sure Brawlhalla is there, which is like my biggest game that I want to play all the time. So that's the big thing. But we're getting a whole lot out of Steam just on this little basic machine. You know, like giving Steam the level of hardware, or fucking Linux, the level of hardware that it wants. Fucking insane. Linux compatible. Ooh, I don't think it is. That's so tough. Rocket League is, which is huge. And Halo Infinite and Grand Theft Auto. No Brawlhalla, though. That is tough. Not having a fighting game, which I could fix with Slippy. I'm pretty sure Slippy has a Linux pack. Let's go look and see if Slippy's got a Linux pack. Bro, relax. This fly is going nuts right now. Slippy. For those of you who don't know what Slippy is a gaming applet that allows you to play Melee online with other people. So like, I just don't know if... I don't know if there's a... Holy fuck, it has a Linux launcher. Chat, it has a Linux launcher. Fuck. Yeah, so your boy's gonna put Linux on this thing and get a fucking Melee ISO and fucking find it and just play. That's what I'm gonna do today. But I wish you luck. Thank you so much, Hassan. We're streaming on Linux, is what we're doing for the first time ever. Very special, very interesting, very cool indeed. What is my stream output currently? Is it 720? Love to see it. But yeah, so that is that's what we're doing at the moment. A lot of things are very compatible with Linux. I do lose like half my Steam library though, which is pretty unfortunate. The thing is like I don't think that I'm going into Windows much to do anything anymore. Like I think I'm gonna dual boot Linux. Like I'm gonna throw like a 2.5-inch SSD in there, and I'm just gonna dual boot. The problem is like all of my shit is currently on my Windows machine, and like the transition to do so, I'd have to like fully commit, because all of the drives that I have currently are formatted to NTFS, which I don't believe Linux can read. Let's double check that. Linux read NTFS. Yes, Linux can read 3G driver, which allows them to access files on formatted drives. This compatibility allows to... Ooh! So you can... linuxconfig.org. Well, shit. There's like no reason to not switch. Like the more that I do research, the more that I look into it, there's no reason that I should not do this. That's the struggle really here, guys. Is like the fact that like the more that I do research, the more that I like play around on this laptop and play around on my main machine, just the shit that Windows does all the time. Oh, it's just so fucking annoying, chat. It's like it's really just terrible. And the fact that like Discord is like full blown supporting it, Steam has like been supporting it. Just dude, Linux Mint makes so much sense. It just really does. Like there's nothing that makes me want to just like switch more than just how good Linux is at just like pretty much everything. At this point, it's not the best in a lot of categories, but it's like a pretty good competitor that like people who look at Windows and say, "Oh, well, I fucking hate this and I fucking hate this." Like there is an alternative now. Like it's not as hard. Like I at its current juncture right now would feel comfortable giving this Linux Mint install to my wife's grandmother, who I just built a computer for and put fucking Windows 11 on. You know? Cuz I know I have to go through fucking 8 menus to just edit shit for her. I'd find a bunch of super compatible parts, which I think is 90% of parts at this point. It'd be an AMD part, if anything. And be like, hey, ta-da! Because AMD just plays super well, and I had a Ryzen APU in there anyway. That, 16 gigs of RAM, which is just fucking clock speeds, which any computer can run. Fucking no graphics card, decent cooling, a fucking single SSD. Like, we're talking about, like, very simple computers should just be running Linux. Like, this Windows laptop was a work device at my work, and now is totally fine running Linux. Like, the Windows 11 stalled on this motherfucker. Like, it did not want to fucking participate. Ever. And now it's working just fine. Running Linux. Just doing what it is. I'm streaming. I've got 4 different USB devices connected to this thing right now to, like, have this stream go on. I played fucking Age of Conquest on this device on my fucking ass over there the other day. This is fine. I'm running Visual Studio Code to code. I'm fucking... Now, granted, I'm not a great coder. Let's not, like, put that out there and just be like, yeah, oh my god, look at me go. You know, but... Hey, dude, like, basic shit every day. LibreOffice is huge. So, like, I just go into Office Suite. I have LibreOffice, Calc, Draw, Impress, Writer. Like, just being able to, like, open the LibreOffice suite and just do, like, basic shit for, like, home and work and... Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I go and I fucking, plug in fucking, oh, I don't know. What do I throw in here? Is it 2:30 already? Jesus Christ, chat. My wife is at therapy, but she's going to be home soon. I don't know how long her session is. I lied. But, like, if I hit save as, like, I can save this as an Excel spreadsheet. Or I can just do an open spreadsheet file and just like have those things available to me. What do I have here? Yeah, like Excel, like .xlsx, which is, yeah, Excel 7 to 2007 to 365. Huge. And they're constantly updating this shit. Like, there's no reason not to be on Linux. The problem is like, I want to surround myself with Linux compatible people so like I'm not constantly fighting. But also, oh, dude, I'm this close. I'm this close to getting my wife on Android. It's like, it's becoming like more and more of a financial thing for her because like her iPhone 11 is on its way up, probably in the next year. And so we're looking to like get another phone, but I don't want to add it to the phone bill because I have spent my entire career buying phones outright or putting them on payment plans and expensing them external from our cellular bill because cellular companies love to fucking cook you if you've got like a 2-year lease or whatever with them. So I don't want to be subservient to that. Can I just spill? I didn't. Okay, good. So I don't want to be subservient to that. I don't want to have to deal with that bullshit. So, yeah, I'm doing that. And it's great. I need to see how charged this is because my wife is going to want to use it when she gets home. How do I do that? Oh, it's supercharged. We're fine. The case itself is great. Hollyland Lark M1s, if you just need like a set of 2 wireless microphones, super fucking W chat. Yeah, guys, like Linux is becoming less and less unappealing because of its inconveniences, because of Steam Deck, and because of how desperately Linux wants to become part of the mainstream. It's 3% of total desktop operating systems, but like the amount of Steam Decks that is a good thing. Like that means that like, okay, Linux handhelds are not that crazy. Maybe we can do this. Like blah blah blah. I wanna get an SSD that I can just like fucking book in here somewhere and just fucking run it. Dual boot it. Fuck it. Call it a day. This thing will cease to exist because I fucking put it in my main machine. And like my NAS runs OMV, so like I'm constantly using Linux interfaces anyway. Android is a fucking fork of Linux. So I do have Linux in my pocket all the time. Android is Linux. So anybody who runs Android, which is, by the way, 54% of the entire fucking worldwide market of smartphones, is running Linux. Apple is climbing that ass tree, though. Let me tell you, they are fighting to put an iPhone in everybody's hand. The problem is they're just not price efficient anymore. Like, where we're talking about, like, Apple.com. Like, let's go to Apple.com really quick. And I'll just show you how, like, not nice they are. Why are you being this way? Okay, do that. Okay, see, can I just do... Yeah, I can. Okay, good, that's good. Okay, so here's our little wolf. Like, if we go to Apple.com right now. Are you sure you want to go to Apple.com? You just downloaded Linux. And we go to iPhone, right? The 16e was like, everybody's like, oh my god, they're so cheap. But like, if we go to the iPhone 15, which I think is a very comparable phone, I've been using it in the enterprise environment for a minute now, $699. Why would you just not buy a 16e? Or sorry, why would you not just buy a 15 instead of like a budget ass 15e? $600 is not a budget phone. Do you want to know what a budget phone is? Let's look at Samsung. A budget phone is fucking... God damn it. Come on. I believe in you. You've got this. You're so good. Where's Galaxy A? Whoa. The Galaxy A series phones look different now? No? Question mark? 16. We're talking about a $200 phone with 128 gigs of storage. Yes, it's not that great. But we're talking about a fucking phone that you could upgrade pretty simply to like the 35, right? 5G. And you're only paying $400. $400 easy right there. We will remember this decision to block always. We go to the A16, we're talking $200. I mean, this is what a budget phone is. Now, people pay for budget, you know. At the end of the day, you're potentially upgrading every year just to stay semi-relevant. A lot of these phones are getting decent levels of updates, but like, dude, the vast majority of consumers just need like, this is a call device. Like, most people are not working on their devices anymore. Yes, these are becoming more and more integrated in like our everyday lives and good camera phones and like stuff like that. Like, people should not be trying to like run their whole lives off these budget phones, but a lot of people aren't running their whole lives off budget phones. If my dad was a huge user of the Samsung A series for a long time until he just kept fucking... I will say, as somebody who has used... Oh, I can't grab it. Hold on. This is an A14. I think so. This is a Samsung A14. I used this thing for like an entire month and a half, waiting for my Pixel 5a to get replaced. And then I had to use it again when that Pixel 5a fucking exploded in my hand again. Don't buy a Pixel 5a budget. Like, one, doesn't get the newest update. Two, it has a serious problem with the USB. The topic of the stream is me doing a Linux stream for the first time. So this stream is being brought to you by Linux Mint. So that is currently what I am doing. Anyway, yeah, so like the budget phones, man, are like just this is what a budget phone should be. It should not be, $600 Apple. This is just not a budget phone. You've destroyed the entire point of the SE, in my opinion, with this phone. And here's the thing, you understand that there's a budget market to just get fucking people into your things because you made a desktop computer $600. You made what used to be the most expensive operating system to get into extremely cheap. And you brought down the price of the MacBook Air so people can get more complete versions of your newest hardware. This is $1,000 phone or $1,000 thing with an M4 chip in it. And having used those in the enterprise environment for like the last 2 months, they're great. They're super good. They're defaulting to 16 gigs now. Mac OS is a very well refined operating system. Like, I would be on that if it was like more lucrative for me. But fucking it's not because I'm a gamer. But dude, the MacBook Air with M4 chip is a fucking amazing value at a laptop. And just straight up $1,000. The iPhone is just not though. It is a plethora. The thing is like the iPhone is a great value if you're already in the ecosystem, but a standalone device, the iPhone cannot compete at that level. Went with Linux Mint. I found Fedora to work better with newer hardware and include more up-to-date software. I don't debate that. This is my first foray back into Linux. I used Mint in college to make a Lenovo ThinkPad run a little bit longer because Windows 10 at the time was chugging it. This is forever ago, by the way, because I'm old now, apparently. Honestly, like Fedora and Arch shouldn't scare me as much. And like considering I'm an IT guy and like Fedora is kind of the go-to platform, and Red Hat and things like that are the platform to do a lot of server work and just enterprise Linux behavior. It definitely would have been more interesting to do so, but I was just looking for like a daily driving operating system. And to be completely specific, I was just looking for something that I was comfortable with that could do all the things that I want to do. And if you're saying that they have like more support and things like that, I don't debate that at all. And if they have more support, that's great, and I can try it out because now I have a like separate device that I don't need to like run my whole life on, you know. Which is like the biggest problem that I've had for a while now, is just the sheer amount of. I'm just adding an image in here. It's going to block out everything. Apologies in advance. I just need a background because now more people are coming to the stream, and I feel bad that they're here and I'm not, producing high quality content because we're doing it on a fucking ancient Dell laptop. Honest to God, it was just 100% convenience because I know what it was going for. I could download the ISO free from work at a rate that isn't like 8 megabytes per second off of like most college repositories. So yeah, it just is that. I am more than happy. I think Arch would be the next one that I'd want to explore. I have a virtual machine of Ubuntu on my Windows PC. So I played with Ubuntu. I would want to do a little bit more Arch. It's just a lot of people recommend Arch, and they're annoying about it, and so I want to try it and see what the hype is about. Fedora I've heard a lot about as well, though. More in an enterprise environment, and so like if I was looking for like more of an enterprise thing, I'll look into that. I feel like Red Hat is that fork, right? And Fedora Vanilla may just be a little bit better, but for just like general use, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. What do you think? What I do hate is the fucking Apple ecosystem, but that's just me. I got out of that so luckily when I was. Now, granted, I got stuck in the fucking Samsung ecosystem, so like I can't say I'm perfect, but with things like the A series of Samsungs, the Ultra series of Samsungs hit every single year in one way or another. There's a huge bunch of value in not Red Dragon. What the hell is the new company called that's producing these super good phones? That's like super on sale right now on Amazon, by the way. Red Magician, I think, is what they are. They have like crazy gaming phones for like relatively cheap with Snapdragon Elite chips in them. Like, they're coming up with some crazy ass stuff over there. But you're buying that phone, I think, from Korea or Japan. So tariffs and import prices and things like that. I do like Arch. It's very DIY unless you're derivative like Endeavor or you use the Arch install script. I would mainly use Fedora because it's very close to Ubuntu in terms of ease of use. Oh, okay. So like vanilla, where you're talking like vanilla Fedora, you're not looking at like Red Hat and stuff like that. more about security and hacking and stuff. I'm actually a web developer, but want to get into more security. Is there any guidance? I am very low level help desk. I'm not going to be able to like give you like ideas and stuff into like how to position yourself. Honestly, from what you're talking about right now, Network Chuck is a huge resource for you. He's got so many videos on YouTube to do like a bunch of little like tutorials and stuff like that, and just like a bunch of like home projects that would like seriously give you a lot of knowledge. A lot of his sponsors are super huge for like a bunch of VMs and stuff that you can spin up to practice all these tools. A lot of my constituents at work who are getting into hacking and networking and stuff like that are super in love with that kind of stuff. And networking and security kind of go hand in hand. Security is really just a useful thing across the board, in my opinion, for just a lot of different stuff. There's not a single avenue that security doesn't touch. Even if you're looking at systems, you've got to have a secure level of stack servers. Networking is obviously super tied to security. Security by itself is just everywhere, especially with cloud. You're stuck between Google Pixels and iPhones. I like Samsung, but I find that all the features they offer really bogs down Android. Yeah, I noticed that, especially with the new. I just picked up One UI 7 before they paused it. They fixed it with a security patch for those of us who do have it installed, but they're continuing the rollout, which is nice. But yeah, dude, my battery life went from being like I could have 3 days of battery life on my Ultra to fucking a day, maybe, sometimes. I will say the one problem that I did have going from Android, because I was originally an LG guy, and if LG was still making phones, I'd still be an LG guy. Came in, did that, went to Pixel because I was like, the fucking iPhone of Android, woohoo! And got a 5A. I had a lot of bad experiences with my Pixel 5A, mostly because of a hardware issue that was super well known by Google. Just didn't rectify whatsoever. And it just blew up 2 of my Pixel 5A, so I was like, fuck it, we ball. And then I got my Samsung A30 or Samsung A14 5G in a T-Mobile store in Midtown, New York, while I was on vacation over there. And then, yeah, I will say One UI frustrates me a lot, actually. There are a lot of things that frustrate me, but I'm one Nova launcher skin away from fixing a lot of those problems. The one thing I do hate about Samsung devices themselves is the amount of bulletware that they install that you can't just scrape off and come down to like not stock Android, but like Google specific Android. You can't just like position yourself away from Samsung without just like hiding their apps because they just can't be uninstalled. And I don't know, I haven't really actually tried that since One UI 15 or Android 15, One UI 7. Because I know they were going to make it so that you could delete a lot of their Samsung apps. I'm actually very curious. Let's go ahead and take a look. Because I have just out of sheer number, 1, that doesn't count, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 apps that are Samsung related that I cannot delete. I understand not being able to delete the Nova Launcher all the way. I have been donating to Nova Launcher forever. Galaxy Store makes sense that they don't let us do that kind of stuff because they want you to come back to their stuff. I'm going to attempt to delete their phone contact and messaging app right now because they have been positioning themselves. Yeah, see, it's still disabled for Google or for Samsung Messages. Where's Samsung Phone? There it is. Can't delete Samsung Phone still. Which, like, I get it. It's like sheer functionality. You wipe the device. You've got to have that kind of stuff. That is semi-logical to me. But there are a lot of features that I'm just like, dude, this app doesn't need to be here. If I wanted to delete this app off my phone, I should be able to. Samsung Internet. Can't delete that one off either. The thing that frustrates me is like they still give you like a bunch of the Google apps right off the bat too, because they like keep themselves super. Obviously, they have to. They're Android, you know. They have to keep themselves pretty tightly knit to what's called Google, and they just choose to be problematic in that way, and it's just so annoying. And you can't delete the contacts app either. Like, and again, there is like a semi logic to if you factory wipe your device, the Google apps will disappear, and then you don't have anything. But also, if I'm pulling a recovery image down from the internet anyway, why the fuck? Or like you have like a base default thing installed anyway. Come on. Like there has to be a way to get around that. And it's just really fucking annoying. I am trying to find all of the apps that I just showed up and hide them again so I don't accidentally use them. I see your guys' messages popping up. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry if that blew out your guys' eardrums. Apologies. I did not mean to do that. I typically have a noise cancellation feature, which one thing I will miss is a lot of the Elgato stuff that I use will be gone if I switch full-time to Android, or full-time to Linux. Damn it. With Universal Debloater as well, you can customize what you want to delete. I try and make it as stock as possible. I don't use anything Samsung service-wise. Yeah, the only Samsung service stuff that I use is their health app, because I think it's just a little bit better than Fit, and I have a Galaxy Watch. So, because I think their watches are a little bit better than Pixel watches as well. I honestly was just waiting. The problem is like, I am not somebody who can do my entire life with one of these budget devices. I need something at least mid-range. And I didn't want to spend $400 to maybe assume that I would like the A35 equivalent at the time. And so, and you never really get like a, you know, like a happy experience on the A series if you need to like use your phone all the time. And I was answering tickets, taking pictures, doing all sorts of stuff that I just feel like if you're trying to use it as like a full bore, internet is what I needed to get rid of, replacement for like a Pixel 5a, which is what I was on before, it's just impossible. It's the only reason I really went away from Pixel in the first place. But end of day, Samsung's Pixel is doing the same thing. There are certain aspects of Pixel where it's like, okay, bro, like you are just taking your opportunity to be the next Samsung. It just sucks that you actually have to use a program to deploy. Yeah, 100%. And the thing is like with each iteration of One UI, that you have to, you know, go around it again in some way because they find a way to block it or that kind of thing because they're playing that same game of just like of Apple trying to just like lock you into their method of thinking. That's why I'm appreciating a lot more of these companies coming out. Not the Huawei's, but the OnePluses and the Vivo and Red Magician. Like all of these guys are making phones that are just kind of like, hey, you want as stock an Android experience as we can give you? Here you go. Here's our camera app. That's what we push on you. And the rest of them are Google apps. You know, like I don't understand with like how tight knit Samsung and Google are at this point. Why Samsung needs alternatives to certain apps like Google Phone, Google Messages, and Google Contacts. Like these are just simple apps you should just install. Like it's not one of those things where it's like, guys, we are providing, because like Samsung Messages is not providing like an iMessage level of experience that you would be missing out on if they took it away from you. In fact, I think Google Messages is that equivalent. And so like the fact that they are only like installing Google Messages on their newer devices and I'm stuck with the fucking Messages app on here, like it's just fucking annoying. And like they're all hidden. I don't see them every day. So like it's really not the end of the world, but like now I'm partially in the Samsung ecosystem too because I have to be to like function with the fucking device. And I run into the same problem too when I was buying my Galaxy Watch, because I was like, okay, well, I could get a Pixel Watch, and then eventually when I get a Pixel, I'll be back on like Pixel Android, which is like, in my opinion, still one of the better Android types you can get, because it's still not stock Android itself as well. Oh, they come and go, you know. It's one of those things. Anyway, back to Linux. Oh shit, are we about to die on this laptop? I got 36 minutes. I'll keep it short then. We'll probably end the stream around 3:15, so a couple more minutes. But yeah, the big thing for me about the whole Linux switch is a couple of my. It will be a big enough change in my life that a lot of things will have to change. I think the operating system itself will be pretty easy to install and get running on my machine. It's not being able to do a lot of the games that I currently play with my friends, multiplayer, that kind of thing. And just the overall more privacy I get on Linux will just be a mindset that I'll have to get back into. I will say I'm pretty heavy in the Google environment. Like, I love Sync on Google Chrome. They have all my data. I will be forever enslaved from a data perspective to them for the rest of my life. And it's a terrible place to be. It's just where I was for a long time because I was a kid and I didn't know any better. And I grew up with devices, and a bunch of these organizations, as you can tell across the world, are taking advantage of you because you grew up with a lot of this stuff. You were the first generation to venture into this frontier, and you get boned. Apple picked up a shit ton of customers because they were the first smartphone, and they were doing computers decent. For most people, switch over to Linux. Most people don't know about Proton. I just assume all their games don't work through Steam. I have done a Proton compatibility test. I'm getting about, like, with Proton, I can get a good percentage of my games. The problem is the ones that I play with my friend require, like, kernel level anti-cheat, which no real Linux distro just kind of gives you. I'd have to fight God. And honestly, I'm against kernel level anti-cheat. So it's one of those things, it's like, okay, what do I need? And so I get like 66%, like 2/3 of my Steam library works just out of the box on Linux. So I'm going to do that instead. And Proton is great as a compatibility layer, don't get me wrong, I fully support it. But like all the games that I would be using for the Proton compatibility layer are games that I just wouldn't install because of the kernel level anti-cheat. And so that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm trying to position myself in a more mindful computing lifestyle, mostly because it's how I should have been raised, and I never got the opportunity to do that. So like before I have my own kids and getting my own household in order with my wife and everything, like trying to get myself to that position so that I'm not in a bad position when I want to raise kids or as I'm educating people as an IT professional. And so like that's where I'm at. I want to be able to be like the person people turn to be like, hey, bro, these companies do be fucking my life. There's a lot of shit out there, and when people start to freak out, like Edward Snowden did, there's an avenue, you know. And I'm not trying to be like a prophet or a messiah. The Linux community has been doing that for me forever. I just haven't been listening, and so now I want to start listening. And again, Linux is getting so fucking good that I can just do it. And that's me, you know? So yeah. How we feel about the stream. I know the stream looks like garbage because of the camera we're using. Audio should be relatively decent. And obviously it's in 720p, which most webcams and stuff like that, or most phones and stuff like that are already doing anyway. Overall, I think the stream looks pretty good. Obviously, there's huge reason to switch to Linux now for me. There's just not a lot of reasons to stay on Windows. And I think that's like the biggest piece of all of this, is there's just not a lot of reasons that Windows needs to be everybody's go-to anymore. Linux is more affordable. Linux has 90% of what people want, and it just works. Right now, it's just the right tool for the job. I run CentOS, Fedora, Windows 11, but mostly macOS. What do you use macOS for? I'm very curious. I'm already at 11%. Goddamn. Hold on, chat. I've got to find a USB. Well, shit. The only USB-C port on this laptop is, unfortunately, what I'm using for the microphone. So I'll let you respond to that, Agent, and then we'll probably head out of this bitch. But go ahead and keep hanging out on the channel. There's going to be a lot more like IT and Linux content coming up. So I know we're running towards the end on this stream just because this laptop's battery has been used in a business environment for a decade. But yeah, I'm more interested to see what you guys have to say. I use macOS as my primary laptop. I run Windows 11 and VM, and I use CentOS to run a few server-side things in my home, like Plex. Nice. Sick. Yeah, I mean, there are reasons to use a bunch of different softwares. macOS, honestly, is what I touch about 70 to 80% of my day now because it's what we use in the environment of the place I work. So I am kind of in a similar spot to you, really. I use Windows 11 daily, but have as deep loaded as possible. Either that, ideally, I would use Windows 10 at Enterprise. Yeah. Not AI. Yeah, 100%. AI should be an additional thing that you add. It should not be something that you have to have come bundled with everything. One of the things that I fucking hate is how tightly Galaxy AI and Gemini are integrated into my fucking phone now. Like, I touch AI pretty much everywhere I fucking go. It's like, dude, I just want to fucking talk to my contacts or go through my Gmail. Like, I don't need to have a prompt for it all the time. It's just getting annoying. It's just exhaustion. If they really want the industry to, like, start pivoting towards these types of tools, they really need to stop fucking shoving it down our throat and just show us the advantages. Anyway, it was wonderful talking to all of you guys again. If you want to subscribe and get some more content like this, I'm starting to get back into rolling content out. We're going to pivot away from all the gaming stuff that I've been doing and go a little bit more towards my Linux journey and just more IT related shenanigans, just because that's what I've started pivoting my life towards, and it's what I find interesting. So if you guys are interested at all in that, go ahead and click that subscribe button, like button, and all that other jazz. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you again for the conversation. Yeah, bye.